In this video of cooking with Gina Bug, she makes old-fashioned chicken and dumplings just like your grandmother used to make. So let's get cooking.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Gina Bug. What I'm cooking today is chicken and dumplings. To speed up the process a little bit, let me show you what I've done. I've taken a whole chicken. Mine's falling apart now because I've been cooking it for 45 minutes in my chicken broth that it made. You see, that's a whole chicken. Everybody knows what a whole chicken is. So mine's falling apart a little bit. But before you get started and before you put your chicken in here, these are the ingredients you need to add. The first thing we're going to do is going to add 2 tablespoons full of this olive oil. We're going to put it in this pot and we're going to let it get hot. We're going to cover the complete pot, the complete bottom of the pot. The reason you do this is so your chicken does not stick. Then you're going to add a half of your cream of chicken, 2 tablespoons of your cream of mushroom, and half of your cream of celery to your water. You're going to fill your pot up over your chicken. You're going to let it get hot. You're going to let it come to a boil like this. And then you're going to add these ingredients. And you're just going to take your wooden spoon and then you're going to just move it around. Move it around. After a couple of minutes, then you can add your parsley, which is just a pinch, goes in there, and a pinch of baking soda. You want to put a full stick of butter of your choice in there. A full stick goes in there. And 2 cups of chicken broth. This all goes in there. And salt and pepper, as you wish, however much salt and pepper you like in your dish. I like a lot of salt and I like a lot of pepper. But I use Swanson chicken broth. You can get this on Amazon, order it anytime, and you can order this olive oil off of Amazon. Basically, any of these items you can get from Amazon. But you're going to cook this for 1 hour, 60 minutes on medium high. And make sure when you add all your ingredients, you cover your dish, because it'll make your chicken a lot softer if you do that. And it'll cook quicker. And I have about 15 minutes left out of an hour that I've been cooking this. It's looking really good. After about 30 minutes of my chicken cooking, I like to take my salt and pepper and add a little bit more. Grind it up and add a little bit more in it. Now your water's going to start to disappear. After you've cooked it for about 45 minutes, you're going to start seeing, say, mine is disappearing and your chicken's getting softer. You see that? It's just getting softer. See, I can just about tear mine up after 45 minutes. Everybody knows what a whole chicken is. I mean the whole chicken you put in there. You want all that goodness. Mine didn't stick whatsoever because I put that olive oil on the bottom of it, and see, it's starting to fall apart. See that? That's what you want. You want your chicken to fall apart. You want to get as much of that fat from that chicken as you can into your chicken and dumplings. I take another 2 cups of chicken broth after 45 minutes. Make sure you wait to see how much water you've used. And then I pour it in there. Mine's been cooking for exactly 45 minutes, so I added that chicken broth in there. I added 2 cups at the beginning when I started this with my butter and my cream of celery, cream of chicken, and cream of mushroom, my baking soda, and my parsley. And I just added 2 more cups. I'm going to let that cook for another 15 minutes on medium high, and it'll be done. All right, I want to make sure y'all understand, like these big pieces of chicken, you've got to crush up like this and put them into your pot. Crush them up. Crush them up. And make sure when you're going through your chicken, you don't have any bones of any kind. Then you can put it over into your pot. And you've got this water, this cup of water, that ain't nothing but chicken broth. So you want to pour that over into it when you get done. See that little bitty bone? That tiny, tiny bone right there. You need to make sure you get all the bones out of it. Alright, so I've got all the bones out of here. Put them over here to throw away. I'm going to take this bowl. I'm going to pour it over here with my 1 cup of water that I put in there to minimize the temperature. And I've got everything in here. I'm not going to stir it around with this spatula because it's got metal on the bottom of it. I'm going to take my wooden spoon. I'm going to push everything around. And it should be cool to the touch. If you've left it out, if you hadn't, if it's still a little warm, that's fine. Alright. What we're going to do is we're going to add the rest from our 1 can of mushroom soup. And cream of chicken, we're going to add the rest of it. You should have 1 tablespoon. So we put our mushroom, our cream of celery, our cream of chicken. Alright, we're going to stir all this around that we just put in. So we've got, all day we've used 1 cup of mushroom, 1 cup of chicken, and 1 cup of celery. And guys, don't worry about if you got the proportions wrong, as long as you got 1 full can of mushroom, 1 full can of celery, and 1 full can of cream of chicken in here. You can put it in however you want to. I just like to divide mine, but don't get upset if you don't have it right. You can just put it all at the end, and because you're going to cook this anyway with the dumplings. As long as you have a full can, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You're going to take the half of your onion that you did not use in your corn fritters, and we're going to use that, and we're going to cut this, and we're going to put this into our chicken broth that we've made. I'm going to cut this. This is the other half that we did not use. In our remember we used a half of a Vidalia onion in our cornbread fritters that we're going to be making. This is the other half. So we're going to chop this up and we're going to put this into our chicken broth. Instead of using cream of onion, I just like a fresh onion. Right now, onions are in season, especially Vidalia. So I'm going to cut this. And we're going to put this into our chicken broth. And I have my temperature on medium-high. I'm going to start cooking our broth for our dumplings. So if you haven't used the parts that I've told you to use for your mushroom and chicken and celery, dividing it at the front and then using it at the back, and it doesn't matter. As long as you use a full can by the end of the recipe, by the end of this, whatever you have left, put in there. You're fine. And then we're just going to take our onion that we've chopped up finely, like this, the other half of it, and we're going to put it into our chicken broth. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to add 1 pinch of parsley, just a pinch, 1 pinch of baking soda, and we're going to use the other half of our butter that we didn't use in the cornbread fritters. We're going to use it, and we're going to stick that in there. And we're going to use 2 full cups of water. So we're adding 1 cup. Then we're going to add 1 more. So 2 full cups of water needs to go in there. And then we're going to stir it around. Medium high, remember medium high. We're going to start around with our wooden spoon. We've got our chicken in there. We've got all of our cream of chicken, cream of celery, half an onion, and we're going to add some more salt and pepper. We've been putting salt and pepper all through this, but we're going to add some more. We're going to add, I like a lot of salt, so I'll probably use more than I need to. This is to your liking, and I use a lot of coarse pepper. The pepper is the key to it. I'll stir that around into it, and then we're going to melt that butter. We're going to let it come to a boil on our medium high. That is going to be so good. All right, everybody, we need to cook this, our dumpling juice from the chicken and everything. We need to cook this for about 20 minutes on medium high. And in 20 minutes, we're going to cut it off, and we're going to make our dumplings. Okay, we're letting our chicken broth cool off. Stir it around a little bit. It's looking wonderful. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. We're letting it cool off a little bit. At this point, you want to add 1 cup of cold water to this. 1 cup of cold water. Okay, I'm just going to add 1 cup of cold water. Don't turn the eye back on until you get ready for your dumplings. You just want 1 cup of cold water. Stir it around. You're going to let it cool. Cover it back up while you're making your dumplings. So we're going to go over to our dumplings. Now, you remember I said you need to make you a nest egg in the middle to make biscuits. And that's what you're making. You're making dough. You make it hard, as hard as you can. You just knead it around, knead it around, knead it around. If you don't, then your biscuits will be soggy and you'll get all of your flours. Just make you a little hard center. Take your Crisco, get your glop, put in there, and then your buttermilk. You want to put in the middle. About a cup is all we'll need. And you want to take your sides like this. You're going to take your sides and kind of scoop it up and squish it in. Take it around, squish it in. Take it around, squish it in. I've got a lot of people who's told me that they just can't make the center. Well, the reason you're not making your center is because you're not making your bottom hard enough. You've got to make sure. See, when I pick mine up, I have nothing there. That's what you want to make sure. Your bottom is really hard. And when you do that, you can pull flour from the sides. You want to squish this up really, really good in your hands. Squish it up really, really good. You want to get that Crisco and that butter in there really good. And you just want to roll it around. Roll it around. You see, I can pick mine up and there's nothing there. You just roll it around. Then you start pulling flour from the sides. See that? Make sure you have all your dough in there. And you just want to pull it from the side. Just like that. You see how my flour is just pulling from the side? That's what you want to do. Get all this dough off my hands. Okay, just moving it around. If you got that wet, just take a little bit of sides, but we're just moving it side to side in our bird's nest. Moving it side to side, and then once you get it side to side, you can start squishing it down. What you're doing is making biscuits. which I have in another video, but you get an extra here. And we're just going to make these biscuits. See that? Until you get this formation. Make sure it's coated for dumplings. Make sure it's coated. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to put it over here on our wax paper. Now, a lot of people don't do it like I do it, but I use wax paper for a reason on my countertops. I use this because I grease it down and I just use the wax paper, roll it out. It seems to be the best way for me to do it. Roll it out. Roll it out just like this on the wax paper. All you've got to do is put down wax paper and put a little Crisco over it and it'll stick to it. A little flour. I just sipped a little flour over top of it. Works wonderful for me. And then I use my rolling pin and just roll it out. That happens sometimes, but it's okay. There we go. Alright. Okay, we've got it rolled out, and I'm going to take my sifter. I'm going to take my sifter out. And I'm going to sift a little flour over it. See this? Just sift a little flour out of my bag. I know it's already sifted. I sifted over my flour just like this. And I'm going to roll it back out just like this. Just like that. And then I'm going to cut it with my knife. I'm going to take it. This is the whole reason I got this wax paper down, because I put it on my countertop. I'm going to cut it all the way down, just like that. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut around, just like this. Cut around, just like this. And I'm going to take the edges that's on the side right here. That's another reason I use this wax paper. It's wonderful for this. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it around. There we go. See how it pulls up? See that? It's all flat and pretty. And then I'm going to cut it just like this. Just like this. I'm going to come back across just like this. This is how I make my dumplings. Anything that's messed up, you don't have to keep. But this is the dumplings. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it inside of this pot that we've been cooking for the last 2.5 hours. This or another. I'm going to use my hands and pull it up just like this. Tear it apart, and I'm just going to drop them in there. But before I do that, I need to make sure that this pot is boiling. So I'm going to turn it back on to medium. And when this starts boiling, then I will put my dumplings in there. Okay, so our chicken broth that we made is hot. See it steaming? So we're going to add our dumplings. One at a time. One at a time. Don't put any more than one at a time in there. Just drop it in. Just like this. It's going to float to the top. And you are making homemade chicken and dumplings like your mama and papa and granny, great grandma, and everybody did. This is how they made them. And put this in here. And what's so funny is you have probably everything in your house to do this all the time. So you can make dumplings anytime. If you can make biscuits, you can make dumplings. And I've showed y'all numerous times how to make biscuits. This is the third video I've showed y'all how to make biscuits. So now make sure you stir this around, because you don't want, and your dumplings will immediately, if you've got it on medium high like I do, your dumplings will float to the top like they're doing here. And then we're going to put the rest of them in here. Put them all in at one time. Make sure they're broke apart. Some of them are gonna melt, and that's fine. You expect that. You expect some of them to melt. Just gives it more taste. Uh-oh, lost one. Just gives it more taste. That's fine. I'm going to cut this one a little bit more. And this is what I have left over that I pulled from the side. So I'm going to redo this, and I'm going to put this in also in my chicken and dumplings. I'm just going to roll it out, get a little more sifted flour on here. Roll it back out. And I'm going to make some more dumplings. Just going to take it like we did before and cut it down the middle and take it to the side. Just like we did before, take it to the side. Just like we did before. Gonna cut, 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 and cut. And then come back across, cut, cut. This is so your dumplings are not so big. Cut. I'm just gonna take my dumplings and I'm gonna keep putting them in here, just like this. And they're gonna rise to the top, just like they're doing. And then I'm gonna mix them all up in there. Just like this. Make sure it's on medium high. All of my dumplings in here. I don't want to lose any. I stir it around. Just like this. Because like I said, half of your dumplings are going to melt. I've got just this little bit left. Gonna roll it back out. Make sure you roll your dumplings out. Don't just stick it in there, because you may have some that's, if you do that, then you'll have some that's not done. So I'm just going to cut it. These are going to go in here. See how big that one is? I'm just going to cut it, put it in here. Make sure you cut your dumplings, and make sure you roll them out. Don't just stick it in there without rolling it out. And that is all of my dumplings. So I'm going to stir it around, and look at all the cream of celery coming to the top, on top of my dumplings. Look at all my dumplings. Ooh, that's going to be so good. Now you want a lot of dumplings because, like I said, half of them are going to melt. So we're going to take our medium. We got it on medium high. We're going to take it and we're going to move it to medium low. You want to do that. And then you want to cover it back up. And you want to cook it for 30 minutes on medium low. After you've got a good boil, which we do on medium high, we're going to put it on 30 minutes on medium low, because you don't want to burn any of your dumplings, and you don't want to burn any of your chicken. So we're going to put it on medium low after we brought it to a boil and got our dumplings in there. See, if you don't have it real hot, your dumplings won't swell up like that, and you want your dumplings to swell up. Then we're going to take our salt and pepper, and we're going to toss it over the top of our dumplings. You want to cover the whole top of your dumplings with salt and pepper. That's what I'm doing. And then we're going to let it sit there for 30 minutes, and we will have this done. Look how pretty.
Recording?
Okay, everybody, we're at 15 minutes. We've been cooking this for 15 minutes. You want to add 1 cup of milk. I'm going to stir it around. This is after 15 minutes of cooking your chicken and dumplings. Stir it around. Now Stir it around. Look at my dumplings. They're looking so good. Stir it around. Okay. 15 minutes, it'll be done. Okay, guys, after 30 minutes, I took my dumplings out and I doused it with paprika and parsley flakes on top of it. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to take my corn fritters that we made, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to crumble them up on top of it. See this? That's what I'm going to do, just like this. Just crumble them up. And you have the perfect chicken and dumplings here. You see the chicken just dripping off of it? You don't have to put paprika and parsley flakes on it if you don't want to. I just did because that's the way I like it. And then with your cornbread fritters on top of it, this is absolutely a dish to die for. I hope you've enjoyed this video, Cooking with Gina Bug. This is, I know it's a chore to do it like this, but our grandmother and our great-grandmother did this, so I feel like it's a tribute to them, and I really enjoy cooking, so try this at home. Try it, guys. I promise you, your kids, your husband will love it. Make a big one for your company, and I promise you, it'll be the center of everything that you do for the day. They will love it. Thank you for joining Cooking with Gina Bug. Have a blessed day.
Remember to click the follow button on the Cooking with Gina Bug page so you don't miss out on any future videos.